Short Papers. Section 10. Righteousness. By Charles Henry Mackintosh. Better known as CHM. Christ is the believer's righteousness, as we read in 1 Corinthians 1 verse 30, who of God is made to us wisdom, righteousness, sanctification, and redemption. Again in 2 Corinthians 5 verse 21, for he, God, has made him, Christ, to be sin for us, who knew no sin, that we might be made the righteousness of God in him. When we had no righteousness for God, he provided a righteousness for us, and that righteousness is Christ, a crucified, risen and glorious Christ. In the law, God was demanding righteousness from man. In the gospel, God is providing righteousness for man. This makes a vast and marvelous difference to anyone who is honestly struggling and toiling to work out righteousness for himself before God. There was a great difference between Adam's apron and God's coat. God never set a stitch in the former, and man never set a stitch in the latter. There was nothing of God in the apron, there was nothing of man in the coat. Hence we find that Adam's apron proved useless in the hour of need. The very moment he heard the voice of the Lord God, he was afraid and fled to hide because, as he said, I was naked. He ignored his own apron. It was of no use whatever to him. It could not even satisfy his own conscience. Not so, however, when he got on God's coat. He could then say I am clothed because God had clothed him. The coat he wore was of God's own making. Moreover, it was founded on the shedding of blood, an all-important cardinal truth. Divine righteousness rests on the basis of accomplished redemption. The cross is the grand foundation, the great central truth of Christianity.